Hi guys, in this video I will review Nikon D7200. This is currently Nikon's top-of-the-line camera with APS-C sensor. In other words, this is the best you can buy without going full frame. Compared to the previous D7100, only several things got upgraded. First of all, there is the new image processor X-Speed 4, ISO range is now bigger, autofocus got upgraded too, now it can focus with less light down to -3 EV. Continuous shooting also got upgraded, it still can shoot up to 6 frames per second, but now the buffer is bigger. You can get around 18 RAW frames or around 100 JPEGs. Video is also a bit better, now it shoots Full HD at 60 progressive frames per second, Wi-Fi with NFC are built in, and also battery is a bit stronger, you can get around 1100 shots out of a single charge. First and most important, let's take a look at image quality. D7100 got a bit criticized due to bending issues in shadows at low ISO. This was not actually a problem since it occurred in absolute extreme conditions, when you took an image that was way too underexposed and then lifted exposure in post-process up to extreme 5 stops. Let's get one thing straight. If you regularly shoot images that need 5 stops boost in post-process, you know nothing, Jon Snow. But in some conditions it is possible to need such actions. For example, you shoot at a wedding in manual mode with a flash, and suddenly flash doesn't fire for whatever reason. You will end up with badly underexposed shot that might be one in a lifetime. Or you are shooting landscape with extreme dynamic range and need to lift shadows. So one of the first things I tested on Nikon D7200 was what can it be done with underexposed shots and shadows, and I got blown away. I took some extremely underexposed shots with D7200 and my Canon 6D, which is a full frame camera and should be better. Both were at the ISO 100. When I lifted exposure in camera raw, Nikon blew away 6D. It is way better and has quite a lot more information in images, both in terms of details, colors and noise control. I've seen the same performance with Nikon D5500, which I reviewed last month. I'm not sure if this is the result of the new image processor or the sensor got upgraded in some way, but ultimately it doesn't matter as long as we get such performance. In normal shooting conditions, image quality is top-notch. Sensor doesn't have anti-aliasing filter, so it delivers extremely detailed images. Just take a look at these 100% view crops. Colors are excellent, dynamic range is first great, and there is nothing more to say than that this is the best APS-C sensor ever. In some aspects, like shadow recovery and dynamic range, even better than some full-frame sensors like the one in Canon 6D and especially 5D Mark III, which is notorious for shadow noise. High ISO is also good, clean up to ISO 800. 1600 and 3200 still look completely usable, but at ISO 6400 noise becomes apparent. With some skill it is also usable. ISO 12800 is a bit of a problem and ISO 25600 is way too noisy for anything except dire emergency. If low light is what you need on regular basis, full frame is still better choice. Nikon D7200 is low ISO king, perfect for landscape, macro and studio work. Handling and ergonomics didn't change compared to D7100. Build quality is superb, magnesium body with high quality plastic outside and rubber grip. Grip shape is good, but I wish it would have been a bit deeper. D7200 is weather sealed and ready to be used in dusty or wet conditions. Controls are the same as on any other Nikon camera. I like the joystick which serves as direct focus point control. Front dial is placed below the shutter button, I prefer the way Canon has it above the shutter button, but this is typical of Nikon. Also many control buttons are on the left side of the camera, what requires 2 hands for use, and I did press some of them by mistake with my nose several times. Top LCD has changed. Now it has bigger numbers that are easier to read, but has less information than the one on D7100. It is up to you whether you like it or not. Menu system brings nothing new. You navigate it up and down and left to right to enter options. Let's just scroll through more interesting ones. Playback display options lets you select what information you want to see when reviewing images. Excellent detail every Nikon has and not a single Canon is that you can see highlighted alert based on color channel, and when you zoom into images, histogram shows data only for the zoomed part of the image. For raw file format you can select lossless compressed option and 12 or 14-bit. Always use 14-bit for maximum image quality, but it will slow down continuous shooting, but more that later. ISO can be set natively from 100 to 25,600. There are also high 1 and high 2 positions, but they are available only in black and white and have absolute nightmarish noise. Auto ISO allows setting upper limit and shutter speed at which the change occurs. Interval shooting is built in, essential stuff for creating time-lapse videos. These are custom functions, less used options for which you should really read the manual. This video would be half an hour long if I went through all of them. D7200 lets you select output resolution on HDMI connector. GPS is an option, you need external GPS dongle, but Wi-Fi and NFC connectivity are built in. In My Menu you can assign options you use most for quick access, or let the camera to display those you used last. A strange detail is the occasional slow response when pressing playback or menu. It has a second or second and a half delay. This is not expected of a camera like this. LCD has 3.2 inches diagonal and 1.2 million dots. It is extremely detailed with great colors and perfect viewing angles. It is also bright enough to be used in direct sunlight. It does not tilt and does not have touch control. Optical finder is also quite good, big and bright, with very bright and readable status LCD at the bottom. It can display a grid overlay to help with composition. There is also a horizon level indicator at the bottom and another on the right, which activates when used in portrait mode. Burst is available at 6 frames per second and maximum resolution and 7 frames per second in 1.3 crop mode. In JPEG format you can take 100 shots and the RAW format gives you maximum of around 20 shots. Interestingly, the camera does not fire at maximum 6 frames per second when you select 14-bit RAW files. It sounds more like 4 shots per second. Only when you select 12-bit RAW files or JPEG, it gives out 6 frames per second burst. Autofocus system has 51 focus points, 15 of which are cross-type. For continuous shooting, you can select several focus point grouping layouts. For single point use, it lets you select only 11 points as active. That speeds up changing them from one side to the other. Connectors are on the left side and Nikon D7200 has all of them. 3.5mm microphone input and headphones output, wired remote control, HDMI output and USB 2.0 connector. Sadly, USB is not of the standard kind. Battery is a lithium unit which takes 1.5 or 2 hours to recharge from completely empty. It is strong enough for around 1100 shots out of a single charge, what is really top level performance. For comparison, Canon 7D Mark II will get you only around 700. The camera keeps a record how many shots you've taken on a single battery and the battery life cycle. Nikon D7200 has 2 memory card slots, both of which are of SD type. These are the options how to use them, as overflow, backup or different image type on each memory card. Video is available at Full HD and 60p frames per second. You can select which memory card will be used for video recording. Microphone sensitivity can be adjusted, as well as frequency response to get better voice sound if needed. New feature is flat picture control, which gives the most neutral video look that is possible, what is great for post-processing. Time-lapse video is also available and the camera can create video by itself. What I didn't like about the video are the typical Nikon bugs. Once you enter video recording, you cannot change aperture. If you try changing shooting modes in live view, camera will exit live view. ISO set for photography is different than the one set for video recording when you enter live view. All these things will make using video difficult as you need to keep an eye on all details. Otherwise you will start recording at wrong settings. Video quality is quite good, maybe not top notch, but good enough. There is no moire effect visible and level of details is good and colors look realistic. So to round things up, Nikon D7200 is one of those cameras I would rather not return after my review time. Regarding image quality at lower ISO setting, this is the best camera with APS-C sensor ever produced. Even better than some full-frame models from Canon. Details, dynamic range and the ability to lift shadows is amazing. Compared to Canon 7D Mark II, you can feel they are made for different use. Canon has more advanced autofocus, faster burst and insane 1000 JPEG shots buffer. It is also a bit faster in operation and a bit better at high ISO. Canon is made for sport, wildlife or photojournalist work, while this Nikon feels best at landscape, macro or studio work, where image quality is simply outstanding. That's all for this video review. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for further updates, and if you want to support my work, buy stuff on Amazon using affiliate links below this video. Thanks for watching.